Welcome to practice. Today's class, physically, we're focusing on our 5 poses to prevent falls: downward dog, crescent lunge, chair pose, tree pose, and bridge pose. So we'll go through different modifications for that. Mentally though, mental focus is going to be on creating positive change, positive habits in your life, maybe letting go of some other habits that aren't so good, or
maybe learning how to say no.
Learning how to say no, right? Yes. And that's a habit that you can create, and it gets easier over time because you do it more and it gets easier. Bernie, you got to learn how to say no. Okay. All right, let's get started. We'll come up to the tops of our mats. Maybe a chair, maybe no chair, whatever works nicely for you today. Close our eyes. Got some Christmas music on here in the studio, so maybe you've got that at home as well. Finding our mountain pose. So a lot of our focus today on that anchor to the earth. Stepping gently on Mother Earth, every step like a little hello to the earth, making sure we're anchored down before we release the weight off the other foot. Let's shift our weight forward and shift our weight back. Just see how that feels. While we're in a safe, controlled environment, take your time. Forward and back. And then we'll move into our mountain pose, shift the weight to one foot and then the other. Just side to side. See how that feels for your outer hip, your inner thigh, your knees. Letting go of any competition today, expectation, of course, judgment, not a part of our practice. We'll add a reach forward with our arms and maybe lift the heels as we come up onto the toes and then back down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, coming back down. So this also strengthens our calf muscles, which are good to have strong calf muscles for balance, but also we want to have them so they're not tight. So they want to have some flexibility to our calves and our ankles. My ankles are creaking as I lift up. And then we add that breath. Try to take a whole inhale up, pause, exhale. Let's do a couple more. You'll start feeling your calves getting stronger. Back down. And down. Good job. Last one, we'll roll our shoulders back. Inhale, sweep up. Now exhale into our flowing airplane. So now you feel the stretch down the backs of the legs. We'll come back up, inhale, exhale, hinge forward. Shifting our hips back just a little bit as our head looks forward up and then looks down on the mat for a nice long neck. Move and breathe. Habits are something that we do recurring, something that maybe we do every day. It's part of our daily routine. And to change negative habits, maybe instead of thinking, getting rid of stuff, let's add stuff instead. So adding positive habits. Just like a diet. I don't like diets. Instead, I tried to crowd out or add in more vegetables rather than taking away cheese and bread. One more. We'll turn this into a flowing chair with a real anchor through the soles of the feet. Inhale, press into the feet, reach up. Exhale, shift back, press into both feet. The whole time trying to maintain the anchor to the earth through our feet. Our hips are going back. And especially when we're reaching up for something, we anchor to the world. You can close your eyes to challenge your balance today. So you've got about 5 more of those. I'll go grab my chair that I forgot. We'll turn that into a full flowing forward fold. So that big hinge. And then all the way down. Press into the feet, sweep up with our arms, reach up. Exhale, hinge and fold, bend our knees. Another thing to keep in mind to prevent falls, not locking our knees. Few more flows. We could be on our mat if that feels better. Wonderful. We'll hold it down. And now halfway lift. We come halfway up, hands come to our shins, or you can even hold on behind your knees. Exhale, fold again, maybe holding on behind the ankles. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. A little bend in our knees as we flow through this a few more times. You can check in with how your calves are feeling with your hands. A couple more. We'll bend our knees and come into a chair pose on or off our chair. This is one of our focuses today, but before we hold it, we'll flow it a few more times. Inhale, rise. Exhale, shift it back. Couple more. And when you're ready, we'll be holding our chair pose. Before we even do sun salutations, getting some strength happening. Let's lift our heels, shifting the weight more into the balls of the feet, or you could shift between one and the other. Lift one and then the other. Or you're holding, lifting both. Let's forward fold, stretch a little bit. Maybe we're stopping on a chair. Bend our knees again, back to our chair pose. This time lifting toes or lifting both. So the weight shifting back into your heels. That strengthens your butte, your glutes. Forward fold, let it relax. Head is either heavy or we're taking a rest on our chair if it doesn't feel nice to have the head below the heart. So some positive habits are going to require time to establish. We have to commit to repetition. Back to our chair, let's come up. Shift the weight all the way onto our left foot, unless it doesn't feel good. And then the other side, other foot. You can have the toe down or lift that foot. Forward fold, exhale. Let the head be heavy, let it stretch right from your heels, the backs of your ankles into your calves, the backs of your knees, the backs of your legs, your backside, your hips, your back, your shoulders, and your neck. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Inhale to chair. Exhale up into mountain. All right, let's do a sun breath. We can adjust our clothes. I think the song is on repeat, or it's just very long. No, it's on repeat. It's only 3 minutes long and it's been on for about 15. All right, let's get in. We got some Christmas tunes today, ladies. Yeah, big breath up, inhale. Exhale, airplane halfway down. Back up, breathe in. Exhale, full forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold again. Right hand towards the mat or the block. Bend your right knee. Reach your left arm up for a twist. Amazing. Other side, bending your left knee. Left hand to the mat or the block or a chair, reaching your right arm up. Now we bend our knees deeply, come to bear pose, belly on the thighs. We can reach forward, or for a little more balance, albatross with the arms out. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Sweep all the way up, clasp our hands together at the top if that feels nice, or hold our elbows, tip over, all the way back up and over to the other side. Big length and a fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Right hand to the mat or the block, bending our right knee, sweeping our left arm up for a twist and a stretch deep into the outer part of your left hip. Back down, bending the left knee, reaching the right arm up. Right into our bear pose on an exhale, belly rests on thighs. We strengthen the legs. 3 breaths. On your next exhale, folds, straighten the legs, halfway lift, breathe in, fold, breathe out. Sweep to sky, my friends, press into both feet, sweep all the way up. Exhale, chair, back up, breathe in. Exhale to mountain. So we got a few more of those flows. Inhale, reach, maybe we grab our hands, tip over, lengthen again, tip over. Oh, that feels good. Lift up. This is great for your posture. And big fold, exhale. Bend the right knee, right hand to mat or block, sweep that left arm up. Exhale, back down, bend the left knee, left hand down, we reach up. Right into bear pose, belly comes to rest on thighs, the hips are back, or our arms could be on our block, our chair, or out. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold again, exhale. Inhale, sweep up, clasp the hands. Tip over, back up. So this stretches those muscles between our rib cage, really good for our posture. Forward fold. Bend our left knee this time, left hand to the mat or the block, reach the right arm up. Back down, other side. Big fold into bear pose as we bend our knees. Breathe and feel the connection into the earth. And forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold again. Change takes consistency. Let's lift up, inhale. Clasp, exhale. Up, inhale. It's our last one for our flow to warm up this morning. Big fold, exhale. Bend the right knee, lift the left arm up. Back to the other side. Into bear pose on an exhale, we'll hold for 3 breaths. Notice the earth beneath both of your feet and feel that support. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathing in. Folding, breathing out. Sweeping all the way up, inhale. It's our last one. Hands will come to our heart. All right. We'll move into some moonflowers and sunflowers to stretch our outer thighs and inner thighs. So left foot's going back. Toes turn out towards, if you've got a long edge of your mat, those top corners. Oh, we're missing, the other Sharon isn't online today. Or Jane, the other Jane.
I wonder if Sharon went back to Mexico.
Oh, maybe she went back to Mexico. Big breath up, inhale. Exhale, bend our elbows, bend our knees. So for anybody online, if for some crazy reason I forget to send you a link, please don't hesitate to message me before practice. A couple more flows through your moonflowers, which reminds me, I'll make sure there's no one stuck in the waiting room. Nope, we're good. We can turn our moonflower now into that sunflower. We sweep all the way down, still bend our knees, but then sweep back up. So you've got about 10 or 15 of those. Let's reinforce today the alignment safely through our practices and set an intention. Consider something new that maybe you would like to incorporate into your daily life or weekly life or maybe a habit that you want to break or let go of. We are our, well, I don't want to say we are our thoughts because we're not our thoughts, but we bring our focus to it. Let's meet in a goddess pose. So the chest is up, knees are bent. Breathe. Our focus today, that anchor to the earth, the strength of the core, balance, and adjustments. We'll straighten our legs, turn our toes more towards the long edge instead of the outside corners for a wide leg forward fold, with or without your block for you. Choosing, if it feels better, to keep our head above our heart or letting our head be heavy. A wideness between our legs, if that feels okay. If you're taking care of your ligaments on the outsides of your knees, maybe a little bit closer together. Let's dedicate this practice today towards nurturing a mindset of breaking a bad habit or finding motivation within ourselves to initiate some positive change. All right, we'll lift our heads back up. Tick-tock our feet together, take your time. You can turn them back up towards me, right together for some chairs with a twist. So chairs, one of our focuses today. When you're out in the world though, you want to have a strong base. So a little bit wider base, but just for today, for our twisted chair to keep our knees safe, our feet come together. So we bend our knees, sit back. And if your feet don't come together, they get as close as your knees can come, your feet are come. So it depends on your body. We'll sink it down, or you're on your chair. I did a leg workout today for the first time in about 25 years, or yesterday. I can't feel my legs very well. So feet back together or knees. All right, let's take a little break and we're going to come back into it. So sink it back and our right hand over to our left knee and your left hand onto your low back. So you keep your pelvis steady. So we don't want to, when we twist, that hip to open up. The twist comes right up from here above the belly button and we twist. If you'd like a little more sensation, you'll bring your forearm down across both of your knees, or you can stay right where you are. Or we can hook our left elbow to the outside of our right knee and stack our palms. Whew. Anything that feels nice. Remember, we should always be able to breathe in our pose. Forward fold, exhale, give those legs a little break. Great work. All right, let's come back up into our chair with our knees together, our thighs together, and twist our other way. So left hand to right knee, right hand to your lower back, and add in any modifications that feel good. This song that is on right now actually reminds me of Sharon. You don't have to be a Santa Claus. She brought this to our playlist last year. So cute. And forward fold, let it rest, let it, the head hang down. Halfway lift, let's take those feet apart now. Come up and then fold again, exhale. Inhale, sweep all the way up. So I think we've done a lot of work on that one pose, chair pose, create some strength to support our knees. Now we'll move into tree. Our right foot's gonna go out and we have our chair for balance here or a wall. If you're at home, maybe someone close by. We'll turn that heel towards the body. So what do we're strengthening this outer part of our hip as those muscles draw the leg back, and then we're stretching our inner thigh. Choose wherever you want your foot to be. If you're working on bringing your foot up higher, you can just do that with your block if you want to. Ouch. All right. Hands can stay right where they are, or we'll move into cactus arms today. right? For balance, our arms would be out more, even like a tightrope walker. Breathe, feel, find somewhere to focus your gaze. Not at me, I'm wobbly. So find something that's not moving. Let's turn our palms up. We can stay there or bring them up above us. We could stop or bring them together. Back down, great job, strengthening that ankle. Bring it in front. Let's tuck our thumbs in and do some wrist rotations. Great job, other way. Wonderful, let's do the other side. Whoo, that was a nice long tree. I haven't even put my Christmas tree up yet. I'm waiting for my daughter to get home.
Oh.
It doesn't seem right to put it up without her, so I'm waiting.
When is she home?
She's home Thursday.
Oh.
So hopefully, but I mean, the other boys are like, what, Mom? Come on, can we get the tree up? So let's do our tree on this side again. That you can use that block, or if you're working towards bringing your leg up higher, you could put your block or your chair underneath. All right, so we're anchoring through our left foot. All right, let's start with cactus arms or arms out wide, palms down. Rooting down into the earth and finding a place to focus our gaze. A nice steady point of focus. We draw our obliques in, so the sides of our body into the spine, the back into the spine, the belly into the spine, and then lengthen through the crown of the head. Let's turn our palms up. Reach, lengthen, stretch your fingers, and rise up. Only if that feels okay. We can stop where it doesn't start to feel fun, or palms come together, more of a Christmas tree. We'll bring them out in front of us, put our palms face down, and we'll do some up and downs for our wrist. Keep breathing. Palms face down, we'll go open and close for our wrists. So we want to have strong wrists in case we do fall. Nice and strong to catch us. I wonder if there's a way to fall. I'll figure that out. Let's release that leg. Maybe for next week, we'll do how to get up and down easily, not easily, or modifications, and how to fall. We'll try.
So you are having class next week?
I am having class next week. Yep. So I'm not going off until the 23rd. I'm going to do a lunch class still. So, okay. Check. Couple things. Now we're moving on to downward facing dog as one of the poses to help prevent falls. Lots of modifications. So the big downward dog that not everyone, some folks like, hands are down and feet are down. So if you're choosing this one today, I'll be showing options. We've got space between our fingers, and the creases of our elbows are either facing towards each other or they're facing towards your mat, the top of your mat. So kind of rotate your shoulder blades to come in and hug the spine. And your heels are reaching towards the mat. Now they probably don't touch, and that's a good thing because we want to have a bend in our knees. So there's that downward dog. So Pauline, I know you're not using your wrists today, so maybe you've got your forearms on your chair here where you can let your wrists rest. Or we're on our wall, opening our chest towards the floor, maybe anchoring through our fingertips or our full hand. Or seated on our chair, toes pointing up, no weight on our wrists, coming forward. It's like an upside down downward dog. Upside down dog. There. So either one of these, anything you choose, all of them stretch the back of your legs. Amazing job. Let's make our way back up. So if you're in a full downward dog, walk your feet towards your hands. Then you'll come halfway lift, inhale. Fold again, exhale. Slowly rise up if that feels okay. If you feel a little dizzy, slow it down. Exhale, draw our hands to our heart. Amazing job. Okay, so now crescent lunge. So if you're not going to be going on your knees, which I know some of us aren't going on our knees, you're on your chair with one foot back, like so. If you're okay on your knee, we'll start with our left foot forward and our right knee down on the mat. So just imagine that chair's either under your hip here or not. And we're shifting this hip slightly forward. So where we want to feel it is right here. All right, so shift it down if you can. So shift this hip flexor forward towards the mat. Awesome. Anchor through our front foot. And the crescent lunge part of it comes with creating a little bend in our back with hands either at heart or reaching up. So whatever feels good for you, taking care of your neck, your back, your ribs, hands at heart. Taking care of your knee, we're here. We're holding this pose for about 10 breaths. You're about halfway through. If you breathe really slow like I do. All right, back up. So if you're in your crescent lunge, you're going to step back to downward facing dog. If you're on your chair, you're doing a seated downward dog. If you're on the floor, you're in your regular downward dog, or maybe you're at the wall. Breathe, feel, listen to your body and the cues it gives you throughout your day to slow down, to breathe, to check in if something isn't feeling right. Wonderful. Let's come back up. If you're in downward dog, you'll step that other foot back. So most likely your left foot goes back, left knee either down on the mat. So I don't know, let's put, yeah, we'll keep the toes on the back there. So you want to feel that stretch here. So your left knee's up off the mat or down on the mat for your crescent lunge. So a regular lunge, we've got basically a straight line here. But if we want to stretch this hip flexor, let's walk this right foot out a bit. Keep our chest up, but shift our hip forward. So we don't want to lean forward. Chest is up and we shift. Awesome. Hands can come to our heart and we can add our little crescent in here. So we're shifting and or reaching up depending on how that feels for your balance. So you've got chairs and walls around. Anchor through that front foot. Really feel how you're being supported with your toes, your heel, your core. Downward facing dog, so either on our chair or we shift back. So what we want to make sure for downward dog is we've got space between our hands and feet. And one way, if you're in a regular downward dog, to find the space for your downward dog is if you shift into a plank pose, you don't have to move. Yeah, shift forward. There we go into our plank. Now shift back. So there's your downward dog alignment. Yeah. Good. Yeah. You're making it harder on yourself. All right, so we're in our downward dog, either on our chair or up. And then we'll make our way, walk our feet up between our hands. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold again, let our belly go right to our thighs. And then sweep all the way up, inhale. Exhale to mountain, either seated on your chair or up. Okay, check, check, check. We're doing good, making good time too. We have to make our way down onto our mats. So one way to get down is your chair's at the top of your mat. You'll step one foot back, then the other, then one hand, then the other. We make our way down to all fours just for a few breaths. So if you're taking care of your wrists, oh, we've got our blocks here under our elbows. Let's do some cat and cows. We haven't even done those yet. Exhaling into cat pose, inhaling into cow. One vertebrae at a time, moving through. Get it? Moving through into cow pose. The kids always crack up at that one. Couple more. Well, quite a few more actually. Let's really anchor into our knees, the tops of our feet. And check in with our pelvis, tucking under, drawing the pelvic floor up in our cat pose, and then relaxing our pelvic floor in cow. So engagement and then relaxation. Few more. Great job. All right. Let's make our way to a seated position. So you'll shift back onto one hip, sweep your feet around to the front. So boat pose today with an option. So if you're taking care of your wrist, you're not going to do this tricep dip option. I've had a few people ask me about how to strengthen up the backs of our arms, our extra wave part, our extra flab, which is fine. It's like extra waving. Who doesn't like that? Okay, so boat pose for some, if that feels nice, or if you want to work on this tricep work, we bring our fingertips back behind us and think of squeezing, let's say a beach ball between your elbows, and then lowering down and then pushing up, taking it back and up. It's like a tricep dip. Without being maybe on a chair or something, you could do that on a chair. And if you wanted to add more, you crunch at the top, extend at the bottom. Crunch, extend. So if we're taking care of our wrists today, we're maybe holding our boat, tapping the toes. If you're okay with this, come down and up. Work towards, and it doesn't have to happen today, bringing your full forearm down onto the mat and then pushing back up. Amazing. All right, come up into a forward fold. Whew, hip flexors. So you need to have loosened up these hip flexors. That's what helps with preventing falls, not having that tight muscle there. So you want to have some flexibility to be able to catch yourself. So let's stretch the back of our body, big breath up. And we'll hinge it forward into forward fold. Where blocks could be here. Some ways to keep track of your progress, just checking in with how far we can place our blocks in front of us. Turning our toes up towards the sky, stretching the backs of our legs. Some affirmations for our practice. I can make positive changes. Let that be repeated silently in your mind. I can make positive changes. Settle in. These poses at the end are good to stay in for 10 or 15 breaths. Let's walk it on up for our butterfly pose. So if you've got your two blocks, they'll go underneath your knees or on your hips. The soles of the feet come together. We be really kind to our knees. Let's focus on the anchoring through our sit bones and reaching the crown of our head up. So you could be holding onto your ankles and pulling away while you lengthen your neck, and think about the core again. The sides coming in to support and lengthen our spine, the back, the belly, and the breath, full and using it as an anchor. creating change takes some consistency. Reaching those knees towards the floor while the head is reaching up towards the sky. And creating a routine, like maybe you do with your yoga practice, does take practice. And we'll release that tension. Put our right foot forward and our left foot on top. And let's do some ankle rotations. So think of, well, just having a nice loose ankle here. Let it loosen up and your hand is doing the work. Doing some rotations. Feels lovely. Go that way and then try to go the opposite way. Let your hand do the work. Ready to tackle that parking lot. Yeah. All right. We need to invent. Okay, go other side. Shoes that like shoot out gravel, just like one of those trucks or sand or something. Oh, they'd be heavy though. All right, ankle rotations on this side. Loosen it up. Right, tight muscles. No, no, no. We want to relax and then go the other way. So our ankles are able to react to whatever happens. All right, a wide leg forward fold. If it doesn't feel nice to have your legs straight out, then you can have a little bend in them. Toes can be up or down. So we'll reach those feet forward. We'll lengthen up out of the pelvis with our spine and then hinge forward. Breathe. So many ways to experience this pose, maybe a block underneath our forearms or a bolster under our face. Getting out of old habits today. Committing to the repetition that is required to ensure that these new habits we want to create become second nature and part of our lifestyle. If we're feeling anxious today, lengthening our exhales. Wonderful. Let's walk those hands back up. Help our knees in. I'll be rolling right back onto our backs for bridge. And we're going to do a few different variations of bridge. So we roll back. First, we'll start just by rocking and massaging our lower back, maybe our middle back and our shoulder blades side to side. Just see how you're doing. If your elbows are wide, I sometimes like to go right over to one elbow and all the way over to the other. But you do whatever feels good. All right, let's move into our bridge pose. So for today, if you'd like to, we'll place, restorative bridge will come at the end, but first we'll do more of a working bridge. You can place a block or no block in between our knees or our thighs, closer to our knees. We're going to do 10 flowing bridges, lifting up and down, up and down. Inhale, lifting, pressing into both of our feet, but not our head, our shoulder blades. Wonderful. So we've got about 6 more. One vertebrae at a time, peeling off the mat until the chest widens. Let's go with 2 more. And we'll be holding that bridge up for 10 pulses. So lifting up and down, pulses at the top, pressing into our feet equally, making sure there's no weight in our head. strengthening our back, our glutes, our hamstrings. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Holding up for 10 breaths. Or if your glutes are burning, put your backside back down, place that block underneath your back to hold up for those 10 breaths. About 4 more. Wonderful. Slowly lower our back down onto the mat. We'll extend our right leg long and bring our left knee in towards the belly, or just lifting up that left knee. So the left foot, or the sole of our left foot, is going to go to the inside of our right leg. So we're in a supine tree pose. So the knee falls out to the side, left knee out to the left side. You can place a block under it. And you can place that left foot anywhere you want on your leg. Our hands can come up into cactus arms if that feels good. Or if we're having any trouble focusing or staying present, hands can come to our belly or our rib cage to give your breath its full attention. About 10 more breaths there. Now that knee will go back up and then all the way across to the other side of your body for your spinal twist, where you could always put a block underneath your knee while you anchor your shoulder blades down. And if you wanted to stretch your IT band today, you'd extend your top leg, pointing your toes kind of up towards your right hand. Staying there a little bit longer. All right, let's roll it back to center. We'll extend our left leg now, and the sole of our right foot goes into supine tree on this side. So our knee falls open. You can use your block to prop your leg up and choose maybe cactus arms or hands on our rib cage or our belly to bring our kind and gentle awareness to your breath. Settle in. Softening our jaw. Passively letting that inner thigh stretch more and more with each passing breath. We'll bring that right knee back up towards the ceiling. The sole of the foot goes on the mat. Then we can lift that knee closer to the belly, draw it across the body with our left hand, all the way over. Maybe you place it on your block here. And then anchor back through your shoulder blades and or stretch that leg out for an IT band stretch. One side of your body will most likely feel more successful in the poses. If something doesn't feel right, just make sure to pull back and breathe. Closing our eyes and quieting the mind through the practice of yoga. Finally, drawing our knees into our chest. We'll take another little rock side to side until we go into our legs up a wall, which can lead us into our Shavasana. So our feet will go up, or our feet could go on a chair, our calves on a chair, or you can keep your knees bent. Wherever you are, do what feels good for your body today. Another option could be to put a block underneath your lower back or a pillow to elevate your hips up. Breathe. They're there for a little while. So you can stay in that pose for your whole Shavasana today, or you can settle into a regular Shavasana, maybe flat on our backs with no blocks or anything underneath our knees. Our eye covers nearby. Maybe we've got a nice new fresh one from Bernie. Settle in. Take your time to settle into a position that allows your body to relax. We've used our muscles. We've asked a lot of our muscles and our bones for the last hour or so. And now it's time to give them the gift of relaxation, to completely focus on our breath, following an in-breath all the way in, and then following it all the way back up and out the body. Give that gift to yourself. Notice your breath. Relaxing our foreheads as we breathe, an exhalation. Be our next exhalation, relaxing our eyes, feeling the heaviness of our eyelids. Another exhalation can relax the cheeks, the nostrils. Moving into our jaw, relaxing our tongue. Space between our teeth. Moving down with the exhalations, relaxing our throat. Our collarbones, the fronts of our shoulders, the backs of our shoulders. Exhaling, relaxing our chest, our shoulder blades anchored down, the backs of our arms, our biceps, And exhalation, relaxing our elbows. Flowing down into our forearms, our wrists. Exhalation, relaxing our hands. Any last bits of tension, draining out our fingertips out into the mat, right out the window. Relaxing our bellies, softening our ribs. The middle part of our spine. Getting closer to the earth. Our lower back connecting down into the mat. Our pelvis relaxing. Releasing any tension in our hips. Our thighs, our quadriceps melting down and relaxing. And the backs of our legs, warm, weighted, heavy. The insides of our knees. The outsides of our knees. The fronts of our knees or our kneecaps relaxing. And the backs of our knees as well. Our calf muscles sinking into the mat if they're underneath. And our shins. Melting down into our calves. This feeling of healing and relaxation spreading down into our ankles, loosening and relaxing our ankles. The tops of our feet. Tops of our toes. Our toenails. The bottoms of our toes. Our heels, our whole body relaxing down. As we breathe in, imagining a wave of breath and healing energy flowing into the soles of your feet, all the way up to your knees. And then exhale, let that energy flow back out. A few more. Inhale that wave of breath moving up into your knees. And then all the way back out the soles of your feet. On our next inhalation, drawing it a little bit higher, right up to our hips, inhaling and exhale, relaxing and letting any tension drain out the feet. A few more breaths, that wave, inhale, drawing it up to our hips. Exhale, relaxing. Our lower body completely relaxed with this wave of breath. And now we'll draw that wave right up into our bellies. Inhale, filling up. Exhale, letting the tension drain from your belly, your hips, your knees, and your feet. Only to draw it back up. Even imagine like the wave of the ocean coming in and then going back out. On our next inhalation, drawing that all the way up to our chest. And exhale, relaxing, letting that flow right out. Breathing in again, filling up our arms, our fingertips, our chest, and exhale, relaxing. That wave of life, of love, of air flowing back up like a wave right up to our neck. And then relaxing, flowing back out the soles of our feet. A few more breaths coming right up to the neck. And then flowing back out, taking with it any tension. A couple more. On our next breath, all the way up, up, up to our head, our face, and flowing back out with an exhale. Inhale, waving up. Exhale, relaxing down. Can stay with our breath like a wave, or come back to any other breathing that feels good for you for the next couple moments. Before we come fully out of our pose, our Shavasana, a couple quotes. You'll never change your life unless you change something you do daily. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine. We are what we repeatedly do. Remember that this is not something we do just once or twice. This practice. Interrupting our destructive habits and awakening our heart is the work of a lifetime. So let's bring our awareness back to the light of the room. We can move our head side to side, make some nice gentle movements to your ankles and your wrists and your fingers. When you're ready, rolling over onto one side, no rush whatsoever. Never. Until we make our way up to our easy seated position or seated position, crisscross or legs out or any other pose that feels nice for you. Let's take in a big cleansing breath and draw our hands to our heart on an exhale. Wonderful. Breathing in some balance, some strength, exhaling away any negativity. One more big breath up. We can bow towards the earth, thanking her for all of her gifts, not only in December, but all year round. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And yes, there's classes next week. If you want to come on down. Yeah.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Next week or no?
Oh, I'll go for lunch next week for sure.
Because Susan said she might meet us here.
Okay.
Oh, okay, on Wednesday? Yeah, on Wednesday after class.
Sounds
Like, we
good.
can go at 10 to 12 or whatever, when we're done.
Bye, Lily. Bye, Jane, Pauline, Becky. We might have lunch next week.
Namaste.
I'll
Namaste.
be there with you in spirit.
Okay, maybe we'll Zoom